We're excited about the opportunity to have one more game and be able to play it in Charlotte against a very good Wake Forest team and participate in the Duke's Bowl and our kids are excited about it and we kind of talked all along that beginning this season was we wanted the opportunity to be able to play and then as the season progressed and even at the end, I had a conversation with Coach Alvarez and, if we found a way to earn our way to an opportunity to play in another game that we would gladly accept it. And so I'm grateful to, the team and for giving us this opportunity and one more game with a group that this will be their final game and one more week with this team, which, despite the type of season it's been and unlike any other, they've been fun to be around and appreciated that. So looking forward to a good preparation and then getting ourselves ready to play well, like I said, against a good Wake Forest team.
We'll start with a question from Jeff Patrikas.
Paul, I know Chase did not play the whole game and didn't throw a ton of passes, but that's the first time he's been in the game, big game on the line. I'm just curious what you saw from him, how he performed. Did you learn anything that you didn't know going into that game about him?
Yeah, it was, obviously did some really good things for us. And, we started the second half and had just a little package with them. And I think it was just 2 plays and then, comes in and it's third down in the red zone and made a play. And, I think anytime we've talked about this so much, but every time you get to play, those are valuable reps and these certainly when the game is in the balance and, you appreciate a guy that is ready to come in and throughout all this last year, Chase, a guy that is, and his teammates know this, he'll do whatever he can for this team. And so it was fun to see.
Go to Colton Bartholomew.
Paul, with the news about Jack entering the transfer portal yesterday, I was wondering what the timeline of that was. If you had conversations earlier in the season, did you know it was coming or kind of how that all shook out?
Yeah. And, obviously Jack had gotten hurt and then it was kind of just see how his recovery was going. And then there was a point where he was starting to be able to practice some. And then really the first time that, you'd been having conversations with him throughout, but the first time anything came up as far as, his interest in possibly transferring was before our Iowa game.
Go to Steve McGargy.
Thank you for doing this. I was just wondering if anybody on the team had expressed interest in opting out of the bowl game. Anybody has indicated to you that they're not going to be playing in the bowl game for whatever reason?
Yeah, and no one that I've talked to this point. I think obviously a lot of guys are excited about it.
Zach Halpern.
Paul, just wondering, I know it's early, but do you think you're going to have any of your injured guys back, whether it's Graham or Danny or Kendrick? And what do you think about the 21-day sit-out being changed to 17? Would that potentially help Jalen get back?
Yeah, it's I don't know right now as far as guys coming back. Certainly you're hopeful and it's, we've got more than a normal week and I think this does help with Jalen. The new 17 days.
Go to Jesse Temple.
Paul, you mentioned that Jack first brought a transfer to your attention the Iowa week. Can you shed any light on what led Jack to seek a transfer? Did coaches tell him he'd split time with Graham or have to compete for the job when healthy? How did that happen?
Yeah, I think that, probably would be best for, Jack to answer what led to it. I've always and still do appreciate Jack a ton and what he's, done and accomplished through his time here, got his degree and certainly helped us uh, win a lot of games and more than that, kind of, the teammate that he was for so many guys. But I think it'd be wrong for me to speak on something like that. That really, that would be Jack's voice should be heard on that one, I think.
Go to Josh Schaefer.
Paul, I know it's only been like 24 hours since you guys kind of started planning the trip, but is the idea of a bowl game this year pretty much the same as it was for any other road game in 2020? It's going to be kind of standard to how you guys have been doing road games?
Yeah, I think that's it is, as far as just traveling down the day before and playing the game and then we'll be returning. The difference obviously is that our kids will leave. Many will leave from Charlotte to go back home, and they've got 3 weeks. The classes started, I want to say, January 25th, so they'll have a good chunk of time back home. But as far as the lead up to it, we got a little bit more time, but it is much more like another game as opposed to what bowl games have been traditionally, and that's really that's this year, and it's all the bowls are like that. But we're still appreciative of the fact that we get to play another game, and that way it's different.
George Galecki.
Paul, to you, what's Jack's lasting impact, not just in the quarterback room, but on this program?
Well, I think it was certainly, I think that the teammates that he was with, has had a positive impact on them, and certainly, point to a lot of games where he played and helped this team win games and some big games, and so I think he'll have there probably little different components to what his mark was, but what's pretty neat is, and a lot of guys have this opportunity, and I think Jack certainly has done this, and like I said, many have, but the fact that they did leave a mark, they did leave a lasting impression, and I think that's something to be proud of.
Well, you mentioned obviously the run up to this is different than a normal bowl, but you do get a little more practice time. Will you be able to, in a normal year, sometime you give your vets a little downtime and work with the young guys. Will you be able to do any of that in prep for this, or will it have to wait till next spring when you really look at some young guys?
Yeah, I think we can sneak a very little in, and but the truth of it is that it's more like a long game week than it is a short bowl prep. And yet, even just kind of the way it is right now and the roster, guys are still able to get a lot of work. And so, we've got a day, actually, tomorrow we'll be on the field and be able to do some individual work. And then Wednesday we'll be able to do some practice that has nothing to do with, Wake Forest necessarily. And those will be great opportunities for, young guys that are playing and young guys that maybe aren't playing, but still can get some good work.
Back to Colton.
Well, you mentioned last week the memories that guys make going to bowl games and this experience. You played in a bowl game in your playing career. What are some of the memories that you have from that experience?
From mine, I hope ours are a lot better than our kids now. I mean, I was a freshman. We had one bowl game. So that was a long time ago. I think I think it's just the time you get to spend with guys, and we get to have it. A lot of it's here, but last week, guys did a great job of working through finals, and so it's the first time in a long time where it's football, and they can focus on that and try to make the most of it and finish the season out right.
Jeff?
Paul, this is just a minor point, but you've got a long snapper who I'm not a special teams coach, but looks to be pretty good. How the operations of what he does and your holder, I can't remember the last time they have not performed up to par. Is that something that fans take for granted, or you just don't even worry about it anymore? If as long as it goes good, you're good with?
Were you the guy in the dugout that told the pitcher you got a no-hitter going? They muted you, Jeff. Yeah, Adam's been really good, and I don't want to be that guy.
I would do it if I could.
You would, I believe you.
One more from Cole.
Why'd you even go back to him for a third time? Like it wasn't good.
Well, I know it's part of the business, but it seems like every time a head coaching opportunity opens up, Jim Leonard's name gets thrown in there or talked about. What's it like for you guys as a staff kind of dealing with that pretty much every offseason the last few years?
Well, it's a credit to Jim, and people are taking notice of it. And, I've been able to, I've gone through that too. And it's part of it. And it's a good part of it, but it's not necessarily it's probably as much a distraction as someone chooses to make it. And that hasn't been the case.